Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of the Smart Flip. We got a repeat podcast here with Catherine Contreras.
Hey.
This is her second time on the podcast. First time she was on, I think we were on like episode 30 something. So now we're over 100. This is episode 111.
Oh,
Let's freaking go.
congrats.
And guys, there's been some big changes here recently. We recently launched, I helped Catherine launch her camera flipping course. So we'll be talking about that a little bit here in a little bit. But for those of you who might just be listening in and this is your first time listening to the podcast, this is the Smart Flip. This is the podcast where we talk about flipping phones, electronics, and all sorts of other stuff. And we talk about systems, processes, and things like that. I do have a book. I usually have a physical copy, but I gave it to my friend last night, so I got to order another one. So I can't give you the physical, but you can find it on the podcast. All of the chapters are on the podcast for free or in my school community. I also have a free course in my school community. So, however, if you don't finish it within 5 days, you get banned. So there's been over 2,000 people banned from that course now. So make sure you're not one of them. And then I also have the Console King with me, the owner of Console Kings, which is another course. Matt runs that one. But let's kick this thing off. Catherine, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, especially ever since we decided to do this course. People have told me I'm out here changing lives, so that feels good.
Well, it's super niche, like the camera stuff is like a lot of people are afraid of it, right? Because it's one of those things where people don't understand it. And like you seem to really have a knack for cameras, more so than like phones and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is super cool. It's kind of like Matt with the consoles, right? Matt prefers consoles over phones and everything, and I kind of just dive into everything. But um, but you have been absolutely like killing it lately with the cameras. So hold on, I want to share my screen here real quick. This is a photo from our Slack community that Catherine's a part of inside of Recelerator. Look at this, guys. Like, this is crazy. Look at all these cameras.
Oh
So
yeah.
spent $3,600 to make 2,000. Guys, that is crazy. You don't get those types of margins
And
on
actually, I
phones.
think it's more. I think I made more than 2,000.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, for this deal because there was a lens in there that I underquoted, and I talked about it yesterday. I posted it, and it
I
actually
saw that.
sold for 1,500.
Don't you love that though? Like whenever you
Yeah.
It's the
like
best.
you miss like a little bitty piece, but on cameras sometimes that can actually like mean a lot.
Oh yeah, and it happens all the time with cameras,
Yeah.
specifically for me.
Like you got the Canon R and then like the Canon R7 and like those just little numbers change the price massively.
Hmm.
And that's one thing about cameras though is you really have to do your research on them.
Yeah.
Because there are
Yeah.
so many. It's not like a PlayStation, right? Or an iPhone where it's like there's really only like one model and the gigabyte might be different. Like with cameras, it can be a whole other camera.
It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
It's all about lenses with cameras, I think.
I
That's
agree.
where that's where you start getting a ton of profit, and there's so many different lenses.
So, well, that's one thing. So I actually got for those of you, well, I haven't posted this yet, but I sent Matt a message this morning of that haul that I got yesterday from one of my friends.
Yeah.
He sold me two cameras with that, and the lens was worth more than the damn camera itself. Like, so like you get into that area with cameras, right? Is like once you know what you're doing, like you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Um, but there's Catherine, what would you say the learning curve looks like on cameras?
Really, it's gonna be the basically knowing the anatomy of a camera, so
Yeah.
what you're looking at, and that's pretty much, I think, the most important thing.
I think it's just also knowing how to research too, like knowing what to look up specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, be having a careful eye, knowing what you're looking at, which again comes back to the camera anatomy.
Well, Catherine, let's talk about I know we kind of jumped right into it, so I want to back up here a little bit. Can you give a little bit of background on your reselling journey, how you got into cameras? Um, I mean, you joined Recelerator like a year and a half ago now, I think. And like also I would also love for you to talk a little bit about your like when you joined, you backed off of it for a little bit and then you came back because you realized just how awesome this industry is.
Yeah, for sure. So, I've been an entrepreneur for about 9 years, and within that time frame, I've done a lot of things, had a lot of huge successes, and a lot of painful lessons learned. um,
Right.
and I've always kind of resold things for fun, especially during COVID when there was, a lot of people selling stuff to make quick cash. And I finally was like, after trying so many things and having a period of a lot of painful failure, I was like, what would happen if I focus on reselling full time? I feel like I was already pretty much a natural at it. And so I focused on it. I started probably the worst way you can, which is thrift stores
Right.
and
Yeah.
garage sales. And I say probably the worst way. It's profitable, right? It works for people. I'm not trying to hate on it, but it just like you're trading your time for money.
Hmm.
And I'm not a fan of that. I don't want to be running around with like a chicken with its head cut off. Like I want to have more time to enjoy life. Also, I don't know if anyone has seen like the prices at Goodwill are insane now
It's dumb
because
now.
you can I don't even know how people are still making a living in from Goodwill. I mean, maybe like in states like the Central America, Central USA, because over here on the West Coast, everything is stupid priced. And I see people who are like maybe in Indiana and they're still getting pretty good profit margins. But the thing is, they're selling like clothes and plushies, and you make like what, $10 per item? Like that's crazy to me. So I started there, and that actually is a good way. One positive about that is you, especially like garage sales and estate sales specifically, you build relationships.
Yeah.
So that's when I started to grow and transition more into bigger deals and getting away from the thrift stores and garage sales. I built relationships with real estate people and storage unit buyers and stuff like that. And from there, I just slowly started seeing a lot of growth. And then that's when I found Chris. And I took Chris, literally just you helped, excel what I was doing already. So I took what you taught with phones for cameras. For me, that's my passion. I mean, I've been a photographer since 2015. So
Just to be
it,
clear, guys, I don't really teach phone flipping technically. That's not really what I teach if we're being real. I teach a
I agree with
marketing
that.
I teach a
Yeah.
marketing system. That's what I do. I don't teach like you can apply it to anything you resell. Golf clubs, cameras, Mac, like
yeah.
anything.
And I
Uh,
Yeah.
highly recommend to apply it to what you're passionate about, because I think that's when your success really starts to
yeah,
skyrocket, is when you find what you love and you start flipping that. For
That's a
some
good
agreed.
point.
people, it's
That's a good
gaming
point.
consoles. For some, it's cameras. For some, it's Pokemon cards and sports cards,
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
I've applied my marketing system to sports cards, Pokemon cards, cameras, MacBooks, iPads, um,
Chris is like,
lot,
I do it all.
golf clubs. Like somebody reached out for help with golf clubs, diabetic test strips. We just had freaking Um, Jude posting the wins the other day. He made like $2,000 in a day, and he's like, "Chris, I need to buy you a beer." And I'm like, "I didn't even do anything, but okay." Like all
People
he
are
did was
doing it
take
with
the system.
cars.
Yeah,
No, he
exactly.
does. Jude, we're gonna hold you to that. When you listen to this, you track Chris down. You fly to Houston and you buy this dude a mother freaking beer because he's making 2 grand and we know you can afford it.
Yeah, you said it. So you gotta own up. You know, first event we have, you gotta pony up and buy me a little
Make it
Angry
happen.
Orchard. You know.
Full bottle of suds for the boy. Um,
So. Okay, so you started applying the marketing method, which is that's what it
Yeah.
is. Is
Yeah.
once again, Aaron Goldstein says this the best. You're not in the phone flipping business. You're in the marketing and sales business.
Yeah.
That's what you're in. And once you guys realize that, the game changes at that point. And I think that's what Catherine figured out with, especially with cameras, is like once she figured out how to acquire them,
Hmm.
I'm assuming the game really, because you really turned it up as soon as you came back a few months ago.
Yeah, I did. Because I had turned it up the first year I started. By month 3, I was like well past 5,000. And I
Mm.
was like, this is easy work. And then I got what Chris likes to call shiny object syndrome when I was like,
Hey.
let me go look at content agency, and then, oh my God. Yeah, that was a pain. I wasted 3 months.
Oh man.
Well,
I
at
was
least it
starting,
was only 90 days.
yeah, I was really starting, yeah, from the ground on that one. And with reselling, it's just always been, you just, as soon as you turn it on, boom, cash flows in. It's
Hey.
that simple and easy. Nothing has ever been this simple in business other than
Well,
reselling.
So, Catherine, at what point were you like, I don't know what I was thinking. This is the thing. Like, when were you like, this is what I'm doing, and I'm doing this?
It was after I've paid like probably 2 different mentors to teach me something that just didn't work. And I was like, you know what? I just really I was at a really bad like crossroads where I lost was losing a lot of money and time and felt
Okay.
so much pressure,
Yeah.
and I was like, I need to stop messing around and look at the reality.
Yeah.
I'm not saying those other things couldn't have worked. It was just
Yeah.
harder. And with reselling, I was like, I know it works. I know it works. I just have to
Yeah.
turn it on and do the work. And so I was like, I just need to focus on what's working right now. And then maybe once I, build it to a certain point, then I can go look at other stuff. But this business is worth growing because it just works.
Yeah.
And so I was
so
like, I need to stop messing around. This is what it's almost like the way I look at it is following the breadcrumbs or following the signs. It's like I was big fat sign in front of me, and I'm over here trying to look at this stuff. And I was like, okay, I need to stop messing around and just focus on what's already working.
I think I think sometimes we don't get you can't understand that unless you go through the shiny object hamster wheel a few times, right?
Yeah.
I
And
think
that's how
and
I identified this as something that just works.
yeah. And
Exactly.
in my mind, and I've said this many times on the podcast, is we have the best offer in the world. We give people money. It's really
Yeah.
hard to beat that type of offer.
Yeah.
Like there there's really no other like we give people cash. Like my friend yesterday, he dropped off like probably close to $4,000 worth of electronics at my house.
Bro.
Like multiple PlayStations, multiple cameras, a drone, Nintendo Switch, like all sorts of he hit and that's one of the things like that was going to be the podcast today until Catherine was on. Like once people kind of know what you do,
Mm.
like and they
Yep.
Hmm.
know that you give cash, it's like it that's your branding.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to go hardcore at this business to get good.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to know a couple of things. You need to know how to market. You need to know how to make an offer correctly. You need to know how to do the research to make the offer correctly. And then you need to know how to negotiate. Those are really the three things that you need to know, and that is it. Like, and then but I think what happens with a lot of people is they get good at this business and then they get bored. Me and Matt have talked about this, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and it's good to be bored sometimes, you know?
Mm.
Like it's good to be bored if the Hormozy says it's the best. If it comes easy, go hard. If it comes hard, don't go. But like if it comes easy, then just go
Yeah.
hard
That's
at it.
exactly what I did. And ever since I did that, everything, it's like God or whatever you guys believe in is just like, yes, cat, here you go. And it just keeps giving. It's like a fountain of money. I don't know
Opportunity. Yeah.
how else to explain it.
A
Yeah.
fountain of money.
I don't
It's
Well,
know
I
how
mean,
else to explain it,
uh,
but
not wrong, like I love cameras. I've always flipped cameras, right? Like I've been flipping cameras for years.
Yeah.
I just haven't done it, I would say as aggressive. Like it hasn't been one of the things I aimed for, right? Like, okay, if you have a camera, cool, bring it with you. I'll take a look at it. I'll make an
Yeah.
offer on it, right? And like that was it. That was the extent that I did. But you went like hyper targeted. Like I want to buy
Hmm.
all your cameras, like and that I mean you had recently a $2,100 profit flip. That's insane.
That
Yeah.
is, that's
Like
legit.
Whoo wee.
how many phones do you have to flip to make $2,100? It's like you got to flip like 20, you know? Like it's a different game. It's like flipping drones,
Yeah.
right? Like you can make crazy profits on drones too, by the way.
Oh yeah.
People have a hard time
Yeah.
getting rid of them. Once again, like same thing as cameras. One thing I do love about cameras, especially when you get over the $1,000 threshold with them, is they're much easier to negotiate. Like the higher in cost they are, the easier they are to buy most of the time.
Hmm.
There's not many people that are walking around with, let's just say $800,000, $1,500 to buy a camera from somebody. You're not going to find that. So I think you're muted, Matt.
My bad. I was saying that's a really good point. Like people, I was talking to a guy today. He was like, "Hey, I've got this much money. Wasn't a lot." And just thought like, when you start to see some, let's say you start to save up and you get like thousand, 2,000, $3,000 in your business. Like now you can buy an iPhone 16, iPhone 17. Now you can buy like the newest, latest, greatest Sony mirrorless whatever, right? Now you can buy that ridiculous lens that, where you can see like the critter that is on the bird's beak. You know what I mean? Like it's just mega zoom stuff. I can't remember who it was. Somebody in Recelerator sold a camera that was like a behemoth. The thing looked like a bazooka. It was a lens and it looked like a bazooka. And they were like, I made really good profit off this, but it sat for a while. But I was just like, that thing is ginormous. It was incredible though. It looked like a gun. It was so
I'm
cool.
curious to see what lens it was now.
Yeah, I think it was like a 75 to like 200 millimeter like lens. It was just like it was huge. Um,
Oh my God, that sounds like something I'd want to keep. That's my one downfall in doing this because I'm
right.
so passionate about cameras and I'm a
It's
photographer. A lot of stuff that comes through, I want to keep.
But that makes sense. Like, you think as a guy who likes gaming and as a guy who's like probably a collector and was interested in that stuff before I started flipping it, knowing about the financial benefits of this stuff was like an added bonus because it was like, well, I already like this stuff. I might as well just go make money off of the stuff that I like. And then when I realized that I could, it's like you said, Kat, it's just like, Aladdin, a whole new world had opened up. And I was stoked like to learn that and also to keep the cool stuff that you might acquire along the way where you're like, yeah, I think I'm gonna hang on to this one. This is probably a keeper right here. And
Yeah,
I have a few things I'm sure you do too.
yeah, yeah. I keep some stuff. I kept a 70 to 200 millimeter lens because that is like I think the one I had was a $3,000 lens, and I got it for 400 bucks. Like, how do you not
Wow.
keep that?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
I'm never gonna get this at this price. I
That's
gotta
true.
keep it. But I always think that. But then, lo and behold, around the corner comes a more amazing deal that I thought would never hit my plate, but
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I think it's interesting how you kind of like a lot of people in Recelerator like gravitate towards certain different items and like kind of like what Matt said is like he's a gamer, he collected the stuff, he did the stuff. You are big into cameras and stuff like that, right? And like you guys just gravitate towards that. I kind of gravitate towards all of it. But I think that's because I'm implementing my own system, like my own
Mhm.
like into all of it. And I think that's kind of my thing. It's like I just want to buy everything and see how it works within the system. And I
Mhm.
think that's my dopamine hit, you know. It's like I just want to see how can I add this cog to the wheel, you know? Like how can I add cameras into the mix? How can I add drones into the mix, into the marketing system, you know?
Mhm.
And I think that's really where I think for me anyway, that's my thing. Uh,
Yeah.
But so $2,100 profit flip, you're not going to get that very often. But you were on the camera masterclass last week. You were talking about your average profit per flip and the return, like the margin, and it's right up there with gaming consoles, which I love. Do you want to
Yes.
talk a little bit about that, Catherine? Like the margin and how much you profit per device typically?
Yeah, so you're like you said, you're not gonna be hitting $2,100 profit flips all the time, but you're gonna be pretty dang close, which is amazing. Like yesterday, I shared another win. What did I sell? I think a lens. Oh yeah, a lens, and I made I forget $900 or something. I mean, I always make
Hmm.
$600, $400. I mean, that's all amazing. So my profit margins are on average probably 50%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Let's
awesome.
see, for I haven't updated my expense sheet for this month, but for this month I'm at 52%. Last month 53.
Wow.
Um, and then some months before that, I was at 60 and 65%. February of this year, I was at 76%. Like,
Right up there with Matt.
Yeah, that's legit. That ROI is not to be played with, man. That is such a great business
businesses
model. Yeah,
beg to get those profit margins. I mean,
it's true.
people in business, they consider themselves lucky if they're, you know, around
5%,
30,
10%. I mean,
20, yeah,
the higher you get, the less percentage there
25.
is, right? Like, and I
Yeah,
tell people this all the time because I think a lot of people don't realize that, right? A lot of people are new to business and they think new to business normal is 3x. No, it's not at all.
yeah.
Catherine, you've been in how many entrepreneur endeavors at this point? Like,
A lot, five
yeah,
plus easily.
yeah. 3x is not a normal like thing, you know? Like whatever you put in, you get three times back. That's not normal typically.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it's not. And mind you, in businesses, like I was in business acquisitions and we looked for businesses that were making at least 25 profit margin minimum. But these businesses have employees, have
Hmm.
all this overhead,
yeah,
so their margin at the end of that is even slimmer. So to be like a one man band in this business and have 76% profit margins, the ability to hit those kind of profit margins is just
yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Agreed. Well, let's talk about acquisition a little. How are you getting these cameras?
So I guess I've sparked a lot of interest on that question
Hmm.
because I mostly was doing free ads. People are like, what free ads are you doing? I post wherever I can for free. So Craigslist, Facebook groups, Nextdoor app, and people call me. People
Yeah,
just
it's
call me.
not nearly as regulated as phone ads. You post a camera one or like we buy drones or something like it's staying up because the
Yeah,
algorithm isn't trained to take it down.
True.
yeah, it's a very like it's almost like a secret niche,
Yeah.
right? So phone like I rarely flip phones. Um
That's a lie. You made 400 in profit the other day. I was like, those don't look like cameras. I know you just probably
oh.
them off to Aaron, but you know.
Yeah, I think I did see like three or four phones within your
I saw a few
your
17s.
win
I
speed.
sold, I sold four 17 Pro Maxes, and I doubled what Aaron says to make minimum. He says 50. I was like, I'm gonna push it to 100. So 100 per device is what I profited.
That's slick. Well played.
Yeah, no hate on phones, but it's a lot more saturated is what I was trying to say. And your ads can be taken down easily, like Chris was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so things like cameras, if you niche down into cameras or gaming consoles, for example, um, people call you and your ads don't get taken down.
Yep.
And people have a lot of cameras just
They do.
sitting, and gaming consoles as well. Like one one deal I can remember at the top of my head was a huge lot of 50 cameras, point and shoot, the camcorders, Polaroids, and oh my god, I that lady wanted to get her money quick, so I just literally was like, "How about 200 for everything?" I think I said 150, and she was like 200, and I was like, "All right, let's do it." And I made so much money on that deal. It was I don't even remember at this point, but I know it was a lot
Well,
That's
there's
because
a
really
I
thing
think
cool.
with
within
camera
like with
people, right? Like they collect.
yeah,
For some, like I remember whenever I lived back in Beaumont, I met a guy who had a crap ton of cameras. Like just old Minolta,
collecting
like yeah,
dust
they were just collecting dust and he's like, I don't know if they work, but like I know you're an entrepreneur and I'll sell them to you for a good price and blah blah. Like that's
and that's
also
the
another
key.
thing. Yeah, and like as soon as I heard him say that, I was like, all right, sweet, let's freaking go. I know it's gonna be some work for me to look all this up, but it is what it is. But
Hmm.
it's funny, like in Recelerator, we're calling these people camera people now, right? Like I think that's a funny little quirky tag that we've given people, but it's
Yeah.
true. Like there is a type of person like that is a camera person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And
Um,
typically they want the new and latest gear, so they're always upgrading. They always need to sell their stuff, or they just collect. And you know what? I want to buy this newer and better camera, and it's $5,000, so I need to sell all these other 20 cameras I have.
mhm,
So
yeah. So free ads. I think you're also doing. Are you doing paid ads as well for
yeah,
cameras?
I
Yeah,
turned on. So mind you, I was making like 5,000 with free stuff for the
yeah.
longest time. I was like, why? I'm not, why? What's the saying? Don't
Don't.
break something that, what's that saying?
Yeah, don't try to fix what's not broken.
Yes. So I was like, why do I need to spend on ads? But I just got so curious because I was already making so much profit with free ads. So I was like, let's do the paid ads. And Chris helped me turn those on. And I went from like 5,000 to 8,000. And actually, that 8,000 number I hit in August was actually still from a lot of free stuff I did. So, and then last month I hit 10K. And for sure, that's the help with of ads. Excuse me.
That's
Well,
tremendous. Congrats. That's
I mean,
awesome.
if we're being real, an ad is simply an organic post with money behind it. That's all an ad is, right? It's just how you set it up and how you target the right people, and that's about it, honestly. Or you don't with buyback ads, you don't even really need to quote unquote target people, is because everybody at that point is your ideal customer, and
Right.
as people click on the ad, it trains Facebook and Instagram on who
Hmm.
you're looking for, right? So, I mean, and if you were to probably do an everlasting ad, it would probably scut
I
like
was just going to say, I haven't
it
even
would,
done
you haven't even
that.
done that yet. So I did a check-in call with one of our clients yesterday. His everlasting ad for phones and electronics is 6x. He spent $250 this month and he made about $2,000 so far. So
My
like
goodness.
that's
So it's pretty
insane.
good then.
Yeah,
It's
and
pretty
he's
good.
new. He's new to the whole game.
That's
Like he's
ridiculous.
not
Yeah.
he's not he hasn't been flipping forever. Like
Wow.
and he came from, the FBA world and stuff. So it's like
Wow.
it's a different world, but
Oh, I've done
it
that too.
one thing I think is funny is like a lot of people that come from that world, like Spencer talks about this often. He's like, dude, I thought eBay was dead. Like he's
Hilarious.
like, but they pay me out fat like infinitely faster than Amazon ever did. Like
Yeah, no, oh my gosh, I hate FBA. Amazon sucks.
yeah, here, wait a month and a half for you to get paid.
eBay is the way. I'm like, I want to have a poster of eBay like on my wall. I
What's hilarious is there's going to be people listening to this podcast that are going to say eBay is a scam, right? Um,
mean, eBay's not perfect.
it's
You
yeah,
know, they
well,
they they care. I feel like they a lot of times they care more about the buyers than the seller. But in recent years, they have upped their seller protection. So, but I mean That's going to
Well,
be everywhere.
I think the thing with eBay is like I'm big on promoting like stop only flipping phones, right?
Yeah.
Because like at this point you're going to make money, but you're not going to make as much money as you could, right? Like example, if I would have the deal yesterday, I spent $2,250 on that deal and I got a ridiculous amount of stuff. He only sold me two phones. I'm only going to make about 120 in profit off of those two phones, but I'm going to
Yeah.
make way more off of the. I already sold the AirPod Maxes that he sold me. Like
Wow,
those sold today,
that's
so
awesome.
I made $100 in profit off of that. And then like there's more. I got two PS5s out there and two cameras and a drone and like a lens for a camera. Like it's like
One important thing I want to add too is I sell a lot of stuff locally, and that's even better. There's a few extra steps you have to deal with the
Mhm.
public, but a lot of times people come to you, they have cash. Especially with cameras and
Yeah,
gaming consoles, people
yeah,
want to buy that stuff.
yeah,
So it's usually like I post a camera and it sells within 2 days to a week. And I don't have to worry about fees. I don't have to worry about shipping, getting boxes, taping anything up. Just
yeah,
hand it off to the customer and get my cash.
yeah.
So when you mix that with selling on eBay, I feel like it's a no-brainer and you just collect a lot of cash.
agreed.
I love that you can grab deals like that camera bundle you were talking about, Kat, where it was like 50 cameras or whatever. The one you just picked up, Chris. The thing I think is really cool, and I think this is understood, but I don't know if it's been expressed explicitly, is that lots of times people will tend to let go of the rigid price points on one specific thing if you agree to buy a lot of
Hmm.
things,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a total Chris move, I would say. Um,
I'm the upsell
and
king, baby.
and because of that, like you can get other items for just almost like stupid prices. That if you were trying to
Yeah.
negotiate for that one singular item, people would fight you tooth and nail. But when they find
Mhm.
out they're getting money and then even more money, they tend to just relax a little bit because I feel like, it's something about
Yeah.
their needs being met. And the thing I love about what you're saying, Kat, is that lots of times you can reframe those things in a local marketplace and put them at prices that look like absolute total deals on OfferUp or Facebook Marketplace, and people will buy them, and your margins can still be really awesome because you paid. Well, if you told people what you paid for it, they probably wouldn't believe you. But it's just like it's ridiculous, and that's why like we've got a student up in that's taken the course up in Michigan that has flipped PS5s locally, just like that's what he does. He doesn't sell
Yeah.
them anywhere else but local. And I love that that is like just a whole nother avenue, like between
Mhm.
I kind almost sort of between direct buyers, eBay, local sales, like there's so many different avenues where
Mercari.
yeah,
I
you can
started doing
acquire
Mercari.
product and move product that it's really hard to lose. And I I love that about this business. The diversity is incredible.
So I have two things to say to what you just said.
Go for it.
The first is, yeah, that first picture you showed earlier with that stack of Nikon gear. That guy sold to me because I bought everything, because I could buy everything.
Mm,
He was like, to be honest, I had a buyer that was going to give me more for the main camera unit he had for sale. He's
yeah.
like, but I called you, I made the deal with you because you were able to buy everything.
Nice.
And yeah, so that is huge.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I was going to say is with cameras specifically, it's gotten, especially vintage cameras, it's like a fad right now. It's a trend. People are wanting to go back to the old point and shoots. They like the
Yeah.
vintage look.
Yeah.
People want to record their weddings with camcorders, and they're trying to go for that vibe. So it's super easy to sell like those point and shoot cameras, those smaller ticket cameras, locally, because people want things now. They don't want to have to wait 4 days to buy something on eBay. So that's why I sell a lot of cameras locally, because it's a popular item and people want things fast. We're in
Yeah.
the age of instant gratification. So
Yeah.
that's something that's going for us in this industry.
Agreed. Yeah. Just to piggyback on the upsell thing, it like I do what I call an upsell sandwich, right? Um, so I'll start off the entire conversation. The everlasting ad number one does it, but then I have my automation where it's like, here's everything we buy, and then people will just start listing stuff, man. Like, and then I'll ask them at the end, be like, what else do you have, right? And just to tie back in there real quick, like if you can buy more things per customer, you will make more money. That's just how the game works.
Yep.
I see so many people that are just like, iPhones only. Well, it's going to be a lot harder to grow that way, right? We had
Yeah.
Victor on the podcast 3 weeks ago. And one of the main things that I had him do in his business was buy more items per customer. If you buy more items per customer, you will make more money. He 3x his entire business. He went from 5,000 a month to 20 in profit. Like
One simple step.
Yeah.
that's
And there's
all it
like
takes.
10 others you can take in
Yeah.
this business.
You get the right system and then you start buying more devices per customer, you will make more money. That's just how it works. So, um, well, I love the fact that like we now have a camera queen um in
Yay.
the mix, right?
I
It's
Out
agree.
there,
fitting. It's very
my whole
fitting.
little reselling system out here that's happening now.
The
Got a
royal
console
suite.
king and a camera queen. Catherine, we did just launch the camera, or it will be launched what tomorrow, Catherine? Like the modules, right?
Yes, the first module will be ready tomorrow, Wednesday, after 3 p.m. And that'll be after our first founders only
Mhm.
call that we're going to do at 3. Yeah.
Cool.
It's awesome.
Super
So,
excited to show everyone. I think they're going to love it.
so one of the yeah, a couple of weeks ago, Catherine came to me and she's like, I think I could really teach this because like just being real, like everybody was asking her. And like I had people reaching out to me and they're like, can I ask Catherine questions about cameras? And I'm like, I guess, like, I mean, like,
Can you? I don't.
go for it, I guess. Um, and then she, and I know she was getting overwhelmed in Slack with
Yeah.
just people like,
Yeah.
you doing this? So we decided to
And
put,
people had so many good questions. Like they really wanted to know. So go ahead, Chris.
no, I was just saying, I was like, it made sense. I wanted to put together a camera course, but like, I'm dad mode right now. I'm
Yeah.
kind of like I'm just kind of chilling. Recelerator's good, and like, the reselling's good. And I didn't really want to create another course, so I'm really glad Catherine was available and wanted to do it. Because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I've been flipping cameras for years, but I was like, I don't want to do that.
It's not your passion. It's my passion.
It's
I'm
true.
glad to do it.
That is another thing. Is like I am
Yeah.
not I'm not passionate about the flip itself. I'm more passionate about the system that gets me the flip. Like that's
Uh-huh.
my thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know like Matt is passionate about consoles and enjoys them and like like I said earlier, I want to see how the item fits in my system.
Mhm.
And that's kind of where my thing is. But okay, so obviously the founders thing, that ended, but there's like another one. I think it's like what 12 hours left on that. At the time that we're doing this, by the way, today is October 14th, 2025. So if you're listening to this 2 months down the road, it doesn't count. Um, but there will be a link for the camera stuff in the cameras and consoles for Matt below. So they're both on school, by the way. So if you guys want to check those out, you totally can. Catherine's, I think yours is gonna, what is it, 1200 one time, right?
Yeah, it's 1200 one time, and it's going to be a 4 module course. And it's going to be super straightforward. So you can just apply, repeat, and scale.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome. I love that. And we'll probably also have her come into Recelerator and teach classes on cameras every now and then too, which I
Heck
think will
yeah.
be super valuable. Kind of like we do with Matt right now. Well, Matt has every Tuesday, but um,
and
is there anything? Yeah, go for it.
I also want to say, it was really cool how we set it up. We did a live call the other day and used everyone's questions. And like I said, everyone had amazing questions. And we basically just took all those questions. Well, I did. And that's how we're building the course. So at this time right now, it's a pre-sale. I'm actively building the course right now with everyone's questions. And so that means the course is going to be amazing when it launches fully, but there's so much more room to grow. So if you're watching this a couple months later, who knows, maybe the course grew some and we added some features and PDFs for everyone to use. So just a really exciting time. And I just want to thank you, Chris, for, making that happen and pushing me to get it done, because this is going to be a really great course. And I think a lot of people are going to want to know the ins and outs of camera so they can start making insane profit margins as well.
Right on.
Agreed. I think
Yeah.
so too. I think it's a really underutilized niche, in my opinion. Like you said, it's kind of underground, or under the radar, I guess. Like Matt would say, under the radar flips, right?
Yep.
Matt goes over those in Console Kings, link below.
Yeah,
Um,
people don't know the values of their cameras. That's
yeah,
why
Yeah.
it's such a lucrative niche, because people they might just look at the camera body and not even look at the lens it has. So that's happened to me so many times where I buy a camera based on just the body itself, but the lens was an extra $500 in profit that went unnoticed,
yeah,
and I just
Yep.
pocketed that. So a lot of people don't know the value, and a lot of people also sadly kind of don't care about cameras, because maybe some of them are older and they don't think they hold value anymore, because this was from 2000, but that freaking camcorder is still selling for $200 plus.
yeah. I can't
I
tell
mean,
you how many
there's
camcorders I've sold.
Oh
Like
my gosh.
yeah.
so
That's
many at this
real.
point, and to be like, and I think it's like what you were talking about earlier, the nostalgia of like how they record, right?
Hmm.
It's like old now. So it's kind of cool to go back and like relive that a little bit. Because there was definitely a vibe with the videos in the 1990s and the 2000s that people really miss. I even
Yeah.
miss it, even when I see the videos of like back then, it's like, man, that's freaking cool. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's kind of
There's
like Matt
still
with the vintage consoles too. Like
Yeah.
it's a very similar thing.
Hmm.
I think people just, they want to hop on the Atari, kind of relive the
Yeah.
glory days.
There's some cameras from the 70s that are literally still going for $800 plus, $1,000, especially in good condition.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So
35 millimeter format kind of stuff.
yeah, also like the half frame. I don't know if you guys seen those. It's like a little
Yeah.
box.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Flip it
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
and there's like a huge glass in there.
yeah.
So cool, so
Those are
freaking
pretty
cool.
sick. Yeah.
They
Those are sick.
are. They can go upwards to $1,000 and higher.
That's awesome.
So
Well, guys, we do got to hop off so Matt can teach his console class that he teaches every Tuesday.
That's
Uh,
right.
but the camera flipping course is going to be in the comments below. It'll be in the description, so make sure to check it out. And we've had a lot of wins with cameras already. And Catherine is really spearheading the way with that. It's been awesome to see her like start, stop, and then come back full force. And it's been really cool to see. And she just really went hardcore this time. And her profits speak for themselves. And I think you were saying like you only flipped like 20 devices last month and made like 6 grand or something like that. Like it was something like that. I can't remember.
yeah, it's a little bit higher, but my
Okay.
average profit per unit is $159.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I was making basically $200 per item I sold last month.
That's
That's
awesome.
that's
So
insane.
cool.
That's so great.
Oh my goodness, I love that for myself.
It's nice coming to
Oh,
that realization, huh? Like,
yeah, I'm like, I don't like working. I don't like working hard. I like working smarter, not harder. That's my
Wow.
that's my thing.
yeah, I love that. Well, guys, make sure you check out the links and stuff below for camera flipping mastery. Also, console kings. Consoles have very similar margins to cameras. They're just a little bit lower ticket. They're a
Hmm.
little bit easier to get than typically a camera. But I mean, it's kind of the same concept. Like if I go back to this whole thing again, guys, like if you learn how to flip one thing and you build a marketing system behind it to get more things like that, you will just make more money.
Yeah.
Like that's really all it is figure out how to flip one thing. If it's gaming consoles, if you have $500, start with consoles. If you have 1,500, 2,000, phones, cameras, and other stuff, right? And like just go up the list. Might as well flip them all. Gotta flip them
Hey,
all. Like
gotta catch them all.
that was.
Gotta flip them all.
Sure. I think Pikachu's in the background
I think
there.
I see one.
He
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
That's
Look at that.
Pikachu.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
got
where that
Yay.
came from. That was
Mewtwo right
subtle.
there.
Is that Eevee on the far end?
Somewhere in there. That's a
Yeah.
Ditto. Oh, that's Gengar. And this
Nice.
this is an evolution. Yes. Sorry,
Yeah,
I didn't
that's what I
realize
Evolution.
thought.
that's what
All
you were
right.
talking about. It's
Well,
Jolteon
guys,
right there.
this has been another episode of the Smart Flip. If once again, I have a free course. You guys can get that on school. Make sure you finish it, otherwise you get banned. The book is in there for free as well. Remember, there's been 2,000 people banned. Sorry, not sorry. Only work with serious people. That's who I am, and that's what Recelerator exists for. Recelerator is the engine behind the marketing and sales and making offers. We only work with serious people there. If you're interested in that, we do have new plans for Recelerator, by the way. So feel free to check them out. The main one has gone up in price. So if you want agency work, which is closed right now, by the way, I am connected to way too many ad accounts. So I gotta get rid of that a little bit.
Maybe
That
so.
that's on wait list at the moment, and it is 5,000 now, because I'm not taking anybody at the moment, for that. But there are 3,000 and then other plans now too. So feel free to check them out. Outside of that, check out Camera Flipping Mastery, Console Kings. If you're just looking to get started, get your feet wet. They're both priced very well. So with that being said, guys, oh, here's my plug. Get my free book as well. So enjoy. See you guys later. See you guys
Peace out.
next podcast. We should have Aaron Goldstein on.
Let's
So
go.
come hang out with us on the next pod. See you guys next time.